Hello and welcome. My name's Elly Henriksen. You may have noticed that this is going to be in English, so I appreciate you bearing with me on that. My name's Elly, and I am with Synthesia, and I'm here to talk to you about video today, specifically about the void that a lot of us have in our learning programs that is pertaining to video. And so let's go ahead and get right into it. How many of you have already watched a video today? An Instagram reel, a TikTok, maybe a cheeky Netflix episode before you came in today. Totally fair. But the thing is, we think of video as entertainment, but it's moving away from that. We are moving into a new era of what video is supposed to be besides just advertising and entertainment. It's becoming the way that we communicate and we share knowledge. Most people, when they need to learn an on-the-job task, the first place that they look for it is going to be YouTube, actually. They want to see somebody doing it. They want to see it performed for them. They want to see it in real time instead of reading it. But this isn't something that has necessarily translated over to what we create as instructional designers, as learning professionals. And that's a little bit of a problem. But this is slowly changing. We are working more and more quickly to be able to transition away from text to video. And this is coming in the format of people using things like Vyond or Camtasia to create instructional video, but it's still a difficult process. And it's been happening for a long time, but it's been a little bit of a struggle. And you might ask how I know that, and it's because I lived it. That's me. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was working as an instructional designer at the University of Washington in Seattle. And I was teaching courses on email marketing, event planning, all sorts of different administrative tasks. And we did it all in person, kind of in sessions like this. And I would talk to people when they could come to me, and then I'd send them away. COVID changed everything. They couldn't come to me anymore. Everything had to go online immediately. And all I had was a Yeti mic and some really mediocre editing footage. And I was putting together videos that were screen recordings of the platforms that we used, videos of me talking, and then doing my best to capture a voiceover that was okay. Maybe mediocre, maybe all right. And so this is something that I have experienced. I've experienced the text to video process. But the problem is, while that was good for my learners to have that resource for them to be able to present as video, it wasn't good for me. It was a really, really difficult process. It was worth doing because video is a powerful tool that drives operational excellence. But the traditional way of making it is really, really costly and complex. I was doing the most basic version. I have a screen recording on my camera or on my desktop. I have a mic on my desk in my guest room. But in reality, if we want to be making worthwhile video, we need to be spending time script writing, filming, editing, translating, and then entering the living hell that is updating your content and keeping it fresh. It is never ending, and it is a long process every time you want to make even the slightest edit. And this is a really, really difficult problem. The other piece that goes into this is because this is so difficult and hard to do, very, very few people are capable of doing it. In fact, about 1% of every workforce is capable of making videos today. These are the people who are potentially in your marketing department. They have the video editing software. They may have a studio. They hire talent. They have the keys to creating video. But what would it take to get the other 99% of your business into making video overnight? I'm talking about your instructional designers. I'm talking about your HR professionals. I'm talking about your sales enablement team. How can they start to make video the way that they're currently making other content? We're really confident when it comes to making PDFs, when it comes to making slides. We feel really good about that. Well, the answer is we need to make it as easy as creating things like a slide deck, and that is where AI comes in. You've all heard about it. It's been about a year now, a year and a half of all of us talking about AI all the time. It's really, really wonderful when it comes to making, images. We can make all sorts of wild things. Even for text-to-speech, synthesizing voices is pretty good. But video has not made the leap yet. That's where Synthesia comes in. We are the ones who are trying to lead the leap in this. And the way that we're doing it is exactly as I said, by making it as easy as making something like a PowerPoint deck. This is really meant to be as easy as making a slide deck. And if you don't believe me, I want to show you how I do this. There's a lot of different features in this tool. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how I can use it to very quickly make a video. So to start, this is what Synthesia kind of looks like when you start to make a new video. It's full of delightful templates, and these are our avatars who can step in, stand in for you, and be the facilitators of your content. All of them are able to speak 120 different languages and different dialects, and there's a different kind of character for all sorts of different content. And you might think, okay, building a slide deck, I start from a blank page. In fact, we've actually built in an AI video assistant that allows you to take that text-based content that you've been using and immediately convert it into video. I'm actually going to do this using a blog post that I wrote that's about storyboarding for video. So I published this in November. It's nice, but you'll see it is long and tedious, and there's a lot of text here. And if somebody really cares about storyboarding, they might sit down and read all of this. But if they're just learning about storyboarding, they're not going to read it. I know. This isn't my most visited post. I know it. And so what I can do is I can actually just take this URL, drop it in here, and I can go ahead and choose how long I want this video to be. We'll stay with 5 scenes today. I can add in additional context if I need to, such as like an objective, which I'm just going to click on here and here real quick and type. And if I hit generate video, what's going to happen is this is actually our tool working with ChatGPT, and it is taking this article, reading it, and it is summarizing it over here, but not in a written text format. It is writing for spoken word. It is writing for a narrator. It's writing for a character. It's changing the tone, because that's a big part of making video. It's making sure you're delivering your message the correct way. You'll also see that while it writes out my script, it is also starting to generate scenes. Based on what it puts in here, our tool is identifying what a good layout to match that content would be based on this template that we've created. There are different templates. You can use different ones, but it's just pulling this all in automatically. You can see I'm using a website here, but it can also work from a document, like a PDF or a Word doc. It can also work from an idea. You can freeform type in whatever it is that you want to do. And this is going to go ahead and make this very quick, high-level option for you. From here, I can actually jump into our editor, and this is going to look familiar because in reality, this is a lot of the same tools that we use when we're using something like PowerPoint, when we're making our basic, visual communication content. We're using a lot of these same things. It looks like a slide deck. But in reality, what we're building is a video here. And I'm actually going to see if it'll preview on the conference Wi-Fi. You'll see that Matt will actually now speak our script here. I'm not sure he's going to do it just because this Wi-Fi is maxed out today. But that's okay. You can hear him, I hope. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the Wi-Fi, we're not able to hear him today. But basically, he will now start to speak this. In the editor, he doesn't animate because he's just getting ready, but I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But before I do, I want to show you how easy it is to build out animations and things in here. On this scene, we can see I've got a little bit of script, and it's mentioning different elements that are important to storyboards. It's just pulled this in itself. I've never seen this before. But I'm going to take a second, and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to animate things. What I can do here is I'm actually going to set the mic down for 1 sec, and I'm going to adjust all of these using our timeline marker, where I'm going to be able to link up each of these items to the script without doing any work with a timeline. So this isn't like editing a video normally would be. Watch my cursor, and I'll explain what I did after I pick up my mic. So what I just did there was I moved these markers around in order to make the narration match up with what he is saying. The animations are going to come in at the time that he speaks this. It's much, much easier to sync up your animations than watching and listening and trying to nudge things around in a timeline to get it to come in the right moment. I've never seen this scene before, and in 30 seconds, I'm able to fully animate it. It's built all of this itself. But there is one problem with this, which is that Matt is taking credit for my work, and that's very frustrating. Matt's great. I love him. I use him in a lot of our videos. But the thing that's really, really cool is he doesn't have to be my avatar. We have hundreds of options available whatever your use case is, whatever type of content you're using, whether it's more casual and you need someone who's very young and wearing kind of street clothes, or more professional and you need somebody who's a little more buttoned up like Leah. We also have construction workers, we have doctors, we have a whole slew of different characters who can work with all sorts of different content. But in this instance, there's only one character who works with this content, and that's me. There's actually an avatar of me, and we can actually help you to create avatars of yourself, or if you have any leaders or people who are faces that are known in your business that you'd like to bring into your content, they can actually be turned into avatars and then be used in your content. We've seen this work really, really nicely with CEOs who want to be able to deliver corporate messages to their company. We make an avatar of them, and then we can send out weekly messages. Instead of them taking time out of their schedule, they can just have an avatar of them that sends a message out that your team can create. And so that's what it looks like to do this. From here, I would go in and I'd probably add in some images about what storyboarding is like, add in some more content, build this out and make it more robust. But all told, I could probably get a pretty decent video out into the world in a couple of hours if I spend a little bit of time working on it. You know, if I really want to get fancy and do fancy animations, you may have a couple days, but what it would take to make something like this with traditional methods is weeks, sometimes months. And so this has been, for me personally, a game changer. It is a long way from being under a blanket in my guest bedroom trying to get all of my animations to line up. It's really, really much, much nicer. But you might be wondering, you know, this is good, but we're in France. This isn't English. Can we do anything about that? And I just want to show you that we can. So this is a generated version of our video. And unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit tricky because I can't share the audio right now. But what I can do with this is show you how I can instantaneously translate this. And I will be able to speak French much better than I can normally. I can actually speak whatever languages I like. We've got 120 in here. So I can choose French, Danish, which I'm currently working to learn anyway. And then let's pick a different type of text. I can speak polite Japanese. And with the push of a button, it's going to take this video that I've made, and it's going to take just a second, but you'll see it makes 3 versions of it. I'll show you our first one here. In Japanese, it doesn't just translate my script and make me capable of speaking Japanese. You'll see that that's my new voice here. It also translates everything on screen. You may still need somebody to come in and review this. It may not be perfect every single time, but it's probably about 80% every single time. The amount of time it takes to change that other 20%, that's way less than it would take to outsource it, have somebody send it back to you, and put it back into your tool. So it's a lot faster. So it's pretty remarkable. And just because we are here, and I will show you this, you can see that it also now is updated into French, and I am now fluent in French for this video. Again, you're still going to want your native language speakers to check this stuff for you, but it's a much, much faster process, right? We're not spending the time that we would be spending outsourcing this and getting all of these things checked and sent back to us. So that's kind of a really high-level rundown of what our tool is capable of doing. This is going to turn into, as you can kind of see in my other example, when it animates. You're not able to hear her right now, but basically I'm narrating exactly what we saw before, and this is what I look like on screen. This is captured in a studio in Slovenia last February. So this is, I'm never going to read this. I'm never going to make a video about storyboarding, but I'm able to do this using my avatar whenever I want to. And so it's really, really easy to get this kind of work done. But you don't have to take it from me. We have over 50,000 customers and half of the Fortune 100 who are currently working with us. We're trusted by brands all over the world because we're very, very concerned about the safety and the ethics of tools like this. You might be thinking this is deepfake technology. You're right, it is. But we are committed to and have 10% of our staff working on making sure that we are ethically aligned with making sure your data is correct, that we're not ever making videos that say anything malicious, and they can't be used to impersonate anybody. Also, people are having great success with this. One of my favorite things is the irony of Zoom, the company that I used to use to facilitate my classes because of the pandemic. They now use us to facilitate their classes, to teach people about how to do sales. Day Collier talked about how he has time He's saving time for his subject matter experts and his IDs, his instructional designers. They don't need to spend time recording themselves. They can be doing the other parts of their job, which is really, really important. They've done about, I'd say they're probably closer to 300 micro videos with us now. They're spending 90% less time making video. And they're also saving about $1,500 per video that they put out per employee. So it's just a huge cost savings in terms of time and also in terms of actual money. So people are having massive, massive success for this. And so that's kind of where we are headed with this. And I just want to bring it back to the idea that video is changing. Formats are constantly evolving. This was a great example of a cutting-edge website in the 90s, right? This was as good as it got. This was Amazon. This is Amazon now. What we think of as video, this is also evolving. Video is going to change. AI is going to change how video works. The ability to interact with this content, to distribute it more quickly. These are all things that we're looking at. Right now, we are currently a video creation platform, but what we're most excited about is becoming a video collaboration, sharing platform, and our goal is to eventually have something like a Hollywood studio in your browser. So this is very early days for us. We're still the bleeding edge of it, but there's a lot more to do. We're really, really excited. Even this week, we've announced new things that are just going to change how you create video and how you can introduce multiple characters, you can change their outfits, you can collaborate with each other in real time. It's just a completely different way of making video, and it's very, very exciting. And I have one more video. You can't hear her, but this is our newest V4 avatar, and you can kind of see how much more lifelike she's getting. I feel like mine's pretty good, but she is making mannerisms that kind of match the script tone. We don't have to coach her to smile. We don't have to coach her to like shrug at the right moment. Her voices line up the way that ours would. So if you would like to see a little bit more about this, she's kind of inviting you in this video to come visit us. Our booth is actually right around the corner, right over here. We have a whole group of people who speak French better than I do who are happy to talk to you and want to share more information with you. If you have questions about using this in real time, please feel free to come talk to me. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you all for checking us out today. And yeah, hope to see you soon.